Awakenings and Neverness to Everness allow you to unlock even a further potential for your character. And with NTE's unique ability for you to choose which awakenings you want to unlock, upon getting a duplicate, the question is often asked, which ones give you the most bang for your buck? Welcome back, guys, it's Josh, and today we're going over the 3 best awakenings for each character in NTE. Do you need that precious amulet or extra resources to pull right now? Well, we've got the power-up you need. Head to U7 Buy, your ultimate gaming hub for safe, fast, and cheap in-game top-ups as well as recharges. From Neverness to Everness to all your favorite titles, we've got you covered. Check the reviews for U7 Buy on Trustpilot. They have an enormously high rank. U7 Buy's Neverness to Everness direct top-up page lets you recharge instantly at a fraction of the cost elsewhere. If you take a look at the official in-store prices and compare them to what you can find on U7 Buy, you can find things at a much cheaper value, going from so expensive to way cheap all at the same time. Plus, with U7 Buy, not only are you going to get these discount, but they'll also deliver it in seconds. And while you're over there, make sure you use my code Josh at checkout for an extra discount off of everything else. This is going to be perfect for last minute pulls, monthly passes, or even surprising a fellow friend. 100% secure payments, instant delivery, and thousands of happy players. Bring the power of purchasing back to you. Click the link in the description and visit U7 Buy, recharge fast, save more, and keep exploring the ever-changing city of Neverness to Everness. First up, Lacrimosa has a couple of great ones right out the gate. A1, the awakening effect to increase the damage ratio of Nightmare, is going to be by far one of her best just go to increase my own self DPS as a main DPS awakening you can pick. If you're looking for nothing but bonus damage for your Lacrimosa, A1 is definitely something that you should think about and just slam it if that's all that you care about. A6, the morning spell, allows Lacrimosa basically to be very prevalent and very similar to the main character when it comes to supporting your characters with support skills and doing Nova, Scorch, and Discord reactions. You'll be able to use a Lacrimosa's enemy skill, swap the Hua character, swap back to Lacrimosa, and then trigger either Nova, Scorch, or Discord based on which characters you're swapping to and from. If you're looking for more uptime on Nova or Scorch or Discord, this thing is a grand slam home run in a Lacrimosa setup. So if you're looking for more reactions, then definitely pick this A6. Another interesting one is A5. It's going to reduce the target's max HP by 200% of the nightmare damage dealt when dealing nightmare damage. It also is going to give Lacrimosa a little bit of HP back as well. This is going to be a nice way to give your team some bonus damage when inflicting nightmare. And then in addition to that, it's going to prevent nightmare stacks from being removed when a target is healed. Time Stop Mom Hotori also has some great ones here. The first one is going to be A1 Flourish, which is going to increase Hotori's damage during time stop by 12% for every recorded skill. You can record up to 3 skills. This is going to give you 36% bonus damage for Hotori during time stop, which is going to be an amazing thing for her ultimate damage ability. A6 is very similar as well and ignores 30% of the target's defense during time stop. This is another substantial damage bonus. Another fantastic one is going to be All Seeing. This is going to give your team 15% increased damage while Hotori is in the party. She doesn't even need to be on the field. Do note though that there has to be one enemy on the field as well. So if you're doing bosses, this is going to be great. If you're doing some AoE, trains or something, it's not going to do anything for you in an AoE scenario. There has to be only one enemy left out on the field. So we have A1 and A6 for big self-damage bonus boosts and a little bit of team utility for Hotori's awakenings as well. Daffodill is going to have some great ones for us here as well. We're going to start with none other than the A3, Assembly of Creations, which prevents insight from being removed once applied, except when the target is neutralized or leaves combat, and allows the repeated applications to stack up to 2 extra times. Now, remember, Insight is the thing that allows you to do additional break damage, and this is just going to increase her ability to do what we love Daffodill to do, which is just bonus break damage, break those enemies faster, quicker, and increase overall damage, not just for Daffodill, but your team as well. This pairs exceptionally well with the A5 Perfect Truth, which deals 1 additional instance of break damage per stack of Insight as you're increasing the maximum amount of stacks you can have of Insight and increasing the break damage overall. These two go hand in hand and really become, well, super good once you can have access to both of them at the same time. Another great one I like is Mechanical March, which is going to be the A2 that allows you to basically gain the full benefits of Phantom Step, even if you're not parrying an attack with the Phantom Step at all. The big benefit of that is that it's going to instantly fill your finale to full if Phantom Step successfully parries an attack on that target. If you have the A2, well, you'll always count as a parry no matter what, so you're going to get that full finale charge instantly if you have A2 on Daffodill. Everyone's favorite support, Sakiri, has some excellent awakenings as well. The first one we're going to start off with here is Wishful Reliance, which just gives us even more team-wide attack bonus. 30% extra attack based on Sakiri's base attack for 20 seconds after casting Feast of Gluttony. Her A5, Sensory Collapse, is going to allow you to fully restore Feast of Gluttony's ultimate energy and reset its cooldown if you have the A5, as long as you, well, knock someone in the air with Devour Whole, which is pretty easy to do. And in conjunction with the A4, you're going to have a very lengthy increase to not only the amount of time you can knock people down and keep them immobilized with the ultimate, but also just have that 30% team-wide attack buff on demand from the A4 when you also have the A5. Last but not least, in nice situations where you need some extra crowd control, A1 is going to bump up that immovable effect from her Feast of Gluttony move to 6 seconds, giving you plenty of time to just smack those monsters down and do as much damage as possible. In my opinion, I would definitely go for the A4 first, as well. Sakiri's in your party to bump up the team-wide attack. It's one of her most prominent features, so why not just get an even better version of that? Get the A4 first. When we're looking at 4 stars, Haniel's got a couple of great ones. Now, one of the first ones you should get is the A2, which simply just increases the duration of Hootie by 4 seconds, which is, well, what she's in your party for. And then you can also get the A6 to reduce Hootie's cooldown by 4 seconds as well. This is going to allow the uptime of Haniel's Hootie effect, the main reason why she's in your party, to be significantly higher than if she was at A0. Outside of these two, the remaining 4 are all some sort of self-damage buff for your Haniel. Look at the A3 to give yourself 20% crit chance increase. I value this one out of the other 4 remaining ones a little bit higher, as free crit chance on your support allows them to contribute a little bit more consistent damage overall to your team. Gunmom Jinwan has some excellent awakenings for sure. Now, the first one that we love to talk about here is going to be the A2, which does 2 very important things. It's going to increase her lethal rose pack damage ratio by 100%, just giving you extra damage for your off field sub DPS, but in addition to that, it's also going to allow Jinwan to start healing your team based off of 5% of the total damage accumulated by that Rose Pact whenever you trigger the Pact Settlement effect, traditionally with your ultimate ability. This thing is by far her best awakening. We also have the A4, which is just increasing the damage ratio of Pact Settlement by 50%. It's just free damage for a Jinwan. Isn't as good as the A2, but extra damage never hurt anybody. The final one out of the best 3 is a little bit of a toss-up for you, but the easily consistent DPS increase one is going to be her A1, which gives her a 5% attack increase for each target on the field bound by Lethal Rose Pack up to 15%. So while it's not the best in every circumstance, free attack is pretty good, but if you're in a single target, maybe boss circumstance, the A6 does have a free damage proc that's going to happen every time they use a skill, use some sort of attack on you while they're bound by Lethal Rose Pack. It's not nearly as good as the other 2 we talked about, and by far her best one is going to be the A2, so pick this one up first. My man Baicang has a couple of great awakenings for you to look at. Now, one of my personal favorite ones here, if you're going for uptime, big damage consistency during his ultimate window, we have A6 White Aspect, which is going to give you 30 free crit rate to Baicang during his Judgment of Ultimate Autumn, which is going to be his ultimate ability. Another great DPS booster is the A2 Soul Collar, which is going to give you stacking attack bonuses. For every 1 power word generated, you get a 6% attack buff up to 4 stacks for a maximum of 24% free attack. You also have the A1, which is Yo Captain, which has a lot of different things that you can see down in here, but basically you're going to be reducing the cooldown of your power words and also bumping up their damage at the same time, whether you're using power word silence and triggering that, or power word objurgate and triggering that. You're going to get both a damage bonus and a cooldown reduction for his 2 most prevalent mechanics as you're doing burst damage with your skills inside of your ultimate ability. Everyone's free to play. By the way, Beast and Chiz has some very powerful and prominent abilities for you to awaken as well. The A2 is going to be, well, priority number 1 for you. Grants 10% of the current grain as interest per second while Chiz is in the surplus state. If you don't know what that means, it means you're going to be doing a lot more bonus damage. We love that. We love it a lot. A4 here is going to increase grain acquisition efficiency by 20%, making sure that you're able to increase the amount of damage you do. It increases the consistency of Chiz as well, and it's definitely something you should be picking up as your second one. And then to increase the overall max capacity of damage that you have, we have the A1 here, which increases the storage capacity of grain and grain loan by 10% as well, which really fully utilizes the ones we picked up before, which is the A2 as well as the A4. You'll eventually get them all anyway, but with this setup, you'll have the A2, which is going to be generating grain passively in that surplus state, meaning your damage resources are going to continue to build even without really doing anything actively on your Chiz. A4 is going to increase that acquisition rate to be even faster and stronger, and then you'll be able to hold even more grain, increasing the overall damage and big bonus damage you can do based on her grain mechanic. So pick these 3 up first. Everyone's favorite barrier butler boy Adler here has a couple of great ones for us as well. The A1 for Adler is going to be giving you 20 stacks of karma when you cast Tranquility. This is going to allow him to be somewhat of a stronger sub DPS character. You can also combine this with his A2, which is going to give him a 3% damage bonus for every stack of karma as well, which makes it pair extremely well with the A1 granting those additional 20 stacks. And last but not least, ultimate energy from the A5 is going to be, well, comboing with the ones we just picked up as well. 20 extra ultimate energy, allowing us to get 20 stacks of karma, and also giving us a damage bonus for every stack of karma on top of that. These 3 together are going to give, well, him a little bit more of an oomph to your team, to your party setup. Instead of just being a shield bot, it allows him to actually do some pretty decent sub DPS damage while still maintaining that role of a barrier support character. The first one we're going to be looking at is going to be her A2, which is Instinct. A2 is going to dramatically boost the destructive experience damage ratio to 600% and cap to 25% of her max HP, which is going to give you immediate damage on removal. It's one of the biggest early power spikes for her damage output, and is definitely something you should think about picking up if you're a Fadia enjoyer. A3, the Cursor of Blessings, is going to be a 30% base max HP on entering combat, which is going to scale basically all of the different things that Fadia does pretty well. Free tankiness, free survivability, it's going to buff up the bonus max HP damage that she's doing on her extra mental reaction damage. You really can't go wrong with the A3. The last one, we're going to cheat a little bit here. A1 is nice. Apostate is going to increase that damage redirect ratio to 75%. However, if you want a more offensive option, you want Fadia to do some more AoE damage, then her A6 Bringer of Love and Destruction is going to allow you to put destructive experience on up to 10 targets within range, making her an even better, well, character in these AoE circumstances, allowing you to do that HP percentage damage bonus, and really gives her that oomph in AoE circumstances. Hotori, she's got some decent awakenings here. If you take a look at the A5, well, regular sandwich is going to be a 1% damage increase per express delivery power stack up to 15%. It's literally just going to give you some strong scaling damage amplification for your DPS Hotori. A6 can give you 30% crit damage inside of the emergency delivery state, which is an excellent burst damage multiplier for your Hotori as well. And then last but not least, Lost Wings A3, 15% damage to non-boss targets. If you're in an AoE circumstance, this is going to be a nice bonus for you if you're using Hotori. However, if you're not fighting, well, non-boss targets, take a look at the A5. We're cheating here again. This is going to give you a, well, damage bonus for every stack of express delivery power gained up to 15%. So this is basically very similar to what we just talked about, but you can use this on these longer boss fights as well. Mint fans, we got some good news for you here. If you're looking for some early access Mint Awakenings, the A1 resetting the cooldown of Ultimate Super Claws, so when Caramel Crisp hits an enemy, is going to be by far one of the best ones you can get access to, and it also enables her close range crit playstyle with the high uptime of her ultimate super claws. And the A2 is going to combine very well with this, which simply just gives an increase of 40% damage bonus to ultimate super claws as well. The A5 First Instinct, 25% crit damage for 6 seconds after casting her redirect skill. It's got excellent uptime for it, and you can combine this crit damage bonus with what we just talked about to make her ultimate super claws even better. Lighterman Skia, well, some of the best awakenings for him. First and foremost is going to be his A6, Unbothered Appearance. 20% extra damage ratio for Fang Thrust inside of that Shadowhound Null mode when touching a locked target is going to be a top pick for enhancing his, well, core skills as well as gimmicky playstyle. A4 Resolution extends that tailed duration to 12 seconds, as well as a plus 2% attachment damage bonus per second up to 40%. Helps ramp up his damage and increases the duration of that attachment playstyle that Skia is really kind of tailored around. And last but not least is a simple blanket damage bonus to Fang Thrust with his A1. Edgar, well, let's go over his awakenings as well. A3 for Edgar, one of the Highbound detectives, increases Wild Current, his skill, his healing effectiveness by 15% for allies below 30% HP. If you need a quick pick-me-up, which is probably why you have Edgar in your party, this is just going to be a nice big healing bonus for enemies. His A1 is going to grant 1 Key of Truth, which is going to help out his ultimate ability every single time a teammate casts a support skill. It's a pretty easy way to buff up that ultimate, what it's doing, by giving you the Key of Truth there. And then his A5, Guardian of Antique Shop Slay, is just nice for a nice little 20% increase to Edgar's max HP. Everyone's favorite main anima DPS, Nanally, has a couple of great ones for us to go over. Her A1 Gang Formation is going to give you increased ultimate energy for every follow-up attack on a 1-second cooldown. It's one of the best early picks if you are looking for higher ultimate uptime and making your rotation a little bit simpler to follow. A5 is going to be a nice little boost to damage for your Nanally. It's going to give you 2% attack per follow-up attack up to 20%. This increases that personal damage scaling for your main DPS character. We love that here. And then last but definitely not least is going to be Call Me the Boss. Extra follow-up attacks while in the Ichidame Authority state. Basically more damage inside of the instances in her core state. This is where a lot of her damage comes from, so bumping that up another tier is a good way to get even more damage out of Nanally. Everyone's favorite Psyche main DPS character. Well, let's start with the A1 Futuristic Prelude. 15% crit rate while in the Cadenza state. This is simply put a nice solid way to increase the stats. 15 crit rate is excellent for someone who wants to do some big on-field damage. A6 Bygone Fuge increases the max crescendo stacks to 20 and grants 10 stacks after casting her ultimate, Cadenza Aria. Its big ramp and burst potential for Aurelia. Her A2 Unique Melody enters and extends the Cadenza state by 5 seconds base up to 12 seconds max on critical dodges or when you cast Dissonance. It's an excellent quality of life awakening for you to pick up, and uptime for her core state as well. You'll be able to pick up A1 for that free crit rate, and then you'll be able to buff up the duration and ease of access to the Cadenza state with the A6 and A2. And don't worry, I didn't forget about the main character. The awakening skills we're looking for on the main character are as follows. The A3 gives you 50% free crit rate on the ultimate ability for the MC, which is just a phenomenal bonus for one of the hardest hitting skills that they have access to. The A5 is just going to increase the damage of Ultimate Divide by 0 for every point of their base attack, all the way up to 25% damage increase, which is another fantastic thing for us to pick up. And then if you're looking to buff your damage up even more, you can pick up the A5, which increases the MC's attack by 10% whenever they trigger a support skill, which is very easy for them to do with their own skill, Appraise and Engrave, fully giving them cycle energy. These three are really going to buff up the damage that you're doing with your ultimate ability, which is one of the main damage dealing sources that the MC really has access to. So with that being said, that is every top 3 awakening for every character released right now in a Neverness to Everness. If you guys want to see more stuff, drop that like, drop the comment down below. Let me know what awakenings you're looking forwards to or the ones you're using. Have fun out there. God bless, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.